My Black & Decker drill for the shredder. This is drill stand for the shredder. I made this extra plate here to raise it up. It's about 3.5 millimeters. Well, it is 3.5 millimeters. And put a pencil, so you put pencil in the twist bit, chuck I should say, sorry. And that goes, well, near enough spot on. I don't know if you can see the pencil marks on this. Put some pencil marks on that bolt head, like from crossing in a way to get the center. But that is spot on. It might be maybe a millimeter out. So here is the connector. This is a 3/8 UNF. The F is for fine. You can get coarse threads as well, UNC, but you want a fine thread, 3/8, if you're going to go in this like chuck screw thread here. Now you can take that chuck off. I've showed you that in the other video. I want to show you that on here. See, I've done a thing for the head here, and there's a bigger hex shape that goes on this bolt head here. This is 22mm bolt. What I want to show you is this does have some movement, or can move. It also, when it's on here, it can move a little bit. So this doesn't have to be totally, absolutely, 10 thou of a millimeter in line, so to speak. So long as it's very near, you still want as near as possible. Don't forget this is going to be turning at 3,000 RPM on the setting I have on this 2-speed drill. So the nut here is an anti-lock nut. I might put that on the other way so that the nut presses against the thread, shall we say, on the drill, and that will lock it up if I want to put this drill in reverse. Now this is not a reversing drill, and it does have a diode in for knocking down the speed. It's a 2-speed electrical, so the wave of the AC goes like that, and all the diode does is knock that in half and just allow, say, the live side of that, whichever, the hot side of that throw, not the underside of the wave throw, and that knocks the speed in half, but would also say it probably knocks the torque in half. Right, I've mounted it, as you see here, Black & Decker electric drill. Here's some details and a video about this mounting thing here. 3/8 UNF. UNF is, F is for fine, threaded bolt going into the where the chuck goes in. Here's the chuck, so that thread there is 3/8 UNF. Don't get the UNC. UNC is coarse thread, so you don't want that. And on this one I've got 4 of these cutting discs. Details about that. Big 22mm bolt going through here, and that's what this connector is actually. So the head of this 3/8 bolt is going into the plastic on this side, and the head of the 22mm bolt, quite a lot bigger, well, quite a bit bigger, is going into the other side, and this is like a connection piece. And I would say if you're doing this, make sure that it can turn quite freely by hand before you switch on any motor you've got. You'll probably have a different motor to mine. This is set to 3,000 RPM. As I say, I'll do a video or card about this. So there's the electric drill, quite an old drill. Now I am going to procrastinate here because I'm scared stiff about even turning this on at this speed, 3000 RPM. If you look at my e-bike version of this, I had one blade and an e-bike motor that was basically turning about 150 RPM. So this is a lot faster turning. This plate here, well, this block here is almost so that the cutting blade's cut against that. There's some holes in there to maybe put an aluminium sheet on there for wear and tear of the blades coming round and cutting against that, but for now I'm just going to have the plastic. And there is a wear plate, what I'm calling a wear plate here, which if you take this bit of a hopper off here, you can get this off, you can get this plate here, which can be quite easily, well, a lot easier than printing out all of it, removed. Right, enough of that. As I say, I'm going to be procrastinating quite a bit here. Let's get on and get going. I don't think there's much else I can really say. If you look at my other videos, let's see what's what. Well, as you see, there's the time there, about 8 minutes. I do have earmuffs on. I would say you want goggles and safety glasses on. Now I've been out the room and I've come in. The drill's a bit warm, and I did feel it earlier, and it was pumping out heat. There's a fan in here. It blows out these slots, spins the air out, sucks it in from the back, I believe. Slots in the back. I can't see any. Let me have a look. Right, again, watch out for your ears. And the first thing I'm going to try is, this is a hopper thing for one of my previous attempts. I have done some hacking, well, some experimentation with it. I was chiseling it to see if it chisels. Right, I've got some safety goggles. I've got some good safety gloves, as well as holding it in this mole wrench. Okay, just to make sure, because this is turning at 3000 revs. It's very fast. Yep, I'm just making sure it's turning the correct way. It's turning like this way, which if you look at it this way, it's turning anti-clockwise if you were looking from this front end. I've got a bowl under here, and take my word, this is completely empty. Now, straight away the discs have come loose. Unplug that. Let's have a look. You see those two discs here? These cutting discs, this type, have come loose there. Now I did tighten these up as much as I could with a nut on each side. Let's have a look at this nut round here. Oh, let's show you that. So soon rip that little bit off there very quick. That's my opinion compared with the other ones. So there's going to be some way of, I'll have to put a, what do you call it, a keyway in or something. These do have a keyway in these cutting discs. Don't worry, it's unplugged now. show you. There's a plug. Yep. So let's get round and look at that other nut, that 3/8 inch nut, to see if there's any damage to it. I think, I can't see, just a second, no, it looks okay. I think what's happening there as well is what's happened in the past, sorry, strap on the cameras, is that the blades are gripping the nut that locked it in, and because there's resistance on the blade, it's unscrewing the nut, but that's gradually moving the locking nut over, and then it's rubbing against the side of the plastic here, or here, whichever way. I'll show you underneath, but those discs now are definitely loose in the middle. Well, all of them are loose now, and actually it must be this nut here, because I can't see the nut at all touching that. Well, I think I just see the edge of the nut there. And I do have Nord washers on, type of washer that's supposed to lock things. So I'm going to probably have to put a double nut. These are half nuts, these. I'm going to have to put at least a double nut on there, or some other way of locking these blades in. But I think the basic idea there is good, except for the noise level. A lot of that is a drill. It's not a quiet drill, these drills. I don't know if there's anything else I can show you. Have a look at that plastic there. No, I can't really continue the way it is. I'll just show you underneath. That's what I'll show you. And show you inside the bowl. Trying to show you round a bit. Yep. That was just after that tiny little bit that I managed to cut before. Obviously the blades in a way jammed, and then as I say they've rotated, and that's rotated the locking nuts I've got on each side of these. Look at my other video, I think I talk about putting this together and putting the locking nuts in. I'll try and put a card about that on here. Well, another fail the way it is. I'm going to have to see, I don't know how I'm going to get a Keyway in there. I did try to use some washers. There's plastic washers between each of these blades. Can we see? This plastic, which have a bit of a Keyway sort of built into them. I didn't expect those to help. Sorry, I cannot get the light. Take my word for it, there's plastic washers between them, and I was hoping those would squeeze together, cushion it a bit, and grip with a lot of friction. I mean, I did tighten these two nuts there, one on each side of the set of blades towards each other, as tight as I could. As tight as I could. I really put a lot of pressure on there. Right, let's have a look underneath. Particularly cutting. So you see the disc there, you might see the blue plastic washers I've put between them over a bit if I can. Yep. So yeah, as one of these has been sticking the shaft in a way, the 22mm bolt has been turning, and the pressure of this against the edge of the nut has caused these nuts to come loose. Yep, there's damage of that nut in the plastic there, mainly probably by friction rubbing against that plastic. Can you see that? And that's melted that plastic there, and you know, so no, so that's underneath. This cutout is from my old attempts. I don't. Yep, another, well, fail as it is now, to a large extent I suppose. But once if I get this keyway sorted out, or some way of definitely locking these discs in here so they won't rotate, locking them onto the shaft somehow, it might be okay. So I thought I'd just finish off with, yeah, the granulation is pretty good. Don't know what this strand is in here. Only got that small amount. That was, you know, it was a few seconds before that occurred where it got jammed and that.